Alright YouTube, and welcome to another Borderlands 3 video. Today we're going to be going over everyone's favourite new Vault Hunter, Flak, but more specifically a few interesting fan theories about them that you may not have heard about, that I personally think are really cool, and also potentially could be good predictions about what we're going to see from Flak in Borderlands 3. Disclaimer as always before we start, the Borderlands 3 footage you see on screen during this video is sourced directly from IGN, and the link will be below in the description. One thing I will say right off the bat is that this video will not be discussing the much loved loaderbot theory. Sadly, Gearbox have already debunked this in an interview Varnell and Paul Sage did with IGN, where they basically told us that Flak isn't loaderbot. Have a listen.
Alright, one last question. I'm not sure what kind of answer I'll get from this. I'm expecting nothing. Is Flak loaderbot? Not a loaderbot, but loaderbot from Tales from the Borderlands.
I think we should give a definitive answer here on Flak.
Okay, no. Flak is not loaderbot from Tales of the Borderlands. Flak is Flak.
Good to know.
A lot more of an answer than I thought I was going to get.
All right.
Although the loaderbot thing would have been kinda cool, I'm actually really glad that Flak is going to be a completely new character with a whole new backstory, and that's going to be something that a few of the theories in this video will be speculating about. So let's move on from loaderbot and jump right into 5 theories about Flak in Borderlands 3. Number 1. Flak rescues and fixes Pandoran creatures. I personally love this theory, and I would like to say that this one is more than likely going to end up being true in Borderlands 3. Some keen-eyed fans have noticed in the trailer footage which we've seen of Flak that the Pandoran creatures appear to have different cybernetic enhancements. For example, in this screenshot we can see that one of the Spiderant's legs is missing and is replaced with some kind of drill, and here the pet Jabba appears to be missing an arm, replacing it with a mechanical one. As for the Skag, the current theory is that it has some kind of eye problem due to what appears to be some enhancements on its eyes. This is a really wholesome theory, since we already know that Flak doesn't understand human connections and social constructs, but they do seem to have a soft side for animals and relate to them in a unique way. This theory would make perfect sense, and honestly it would just be really cool for them to go down this route with Flak. Number 2. Flak is an ex-Hyperion soldier who worked at the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. This one is a cool concept in theory, but I doubt it'll end up being true. We already know that Flak is an AI and he's not human, so this theory is pretty much debunked from the get-go. But hear me out, because this one is kind of interesting and it's just fun to talk about. So if you take a look at the design of Hyperion soldiers in Borderlands 2, we can see a lot of similarities to Flak, the most obvious of course being the extremely similar helmet designs. In addition to this, Flak has several hints of Hyperion yellow, such as the arm, one of the legs, and also the hands, suggesting that Flak may actually be Hyperion technology to some extent. The idea of Flak being an ex-Hyperion worker who defected from the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve and rescued some of the creatures who were being experimented on is a great backstory for Flak, but I'm going to say that this one is unlikely, but really interesting nonetheless. Number 3. Flak is a shared consciousness. Okay, so this one is really interesting and also something that would divert the expectations of what we know and what we think we know about Flak right now. Flak wears a non-binary pin, meaning that Flak is neither a he nor a she, but instead a they, which of course is because they are a robot and are therefore genderless. However, one fan on Reddit suggested that perhaps the they-them pronouns of Flak can be interpreted in a slightly different way. If we read the paragraph from Flak's cosplay guide, it states the following. While they feel a connection with the primal wisdom of animals, the social constructs of humans are strange to them. On their endless hunt, Flak's loyal Skag, Spiderant and Jabba companions help track and claim their quarry, be it human or vault monster or anything in between. The use of they, them and their in this paragraph suggests that Flak is non-binary, and Gearbox are showing this by avoiding male or female pronouns. However, the spin on this comes from Reddit user Fox-Minded Guy, who suggests that what if they, them and their refers to a shared consciousness of multiple entities by the name of Flak. Again, I do think this is unlikely, and I think it's just as simple as Flak as being non-binary. Of course they are a robot after all, but this would be interesting, especially if we saw those different AI voices or personalities come through while we play as Flak. Not to mention that this would make a lot of sense given that Flak's voice actor ProZD is extremely diverse. But as I say, I'm sure the use of they them pronouns is just as simple as Flak being non-binary, but I guess we'll have to see in what happens in Borderlands 3. Number 4. Flak can talk to their pets. I already know what you're thinking, this one is ridiculous. But again, just hear me out. If we take a look at the cosplay guide paragraph once again, we learn that Flak feels a connection with the creatures. What if this connection is a result of the mechanical cybernetic enhancements that each of the pets appear to have? Reddit user Zale777 suggests that this will be similar to Krieg or Wilhelm, where we hear the voices inside of Flak's head, much similar to Krieg's dissociative identity disorder and Wilhelm's wolf and saint. If this was to be true, we'd get to see Flak's care inside for the creatures, and we'd hear them directly talking to them. So it could actually be pretty unique and something to further the idea that Flak just does not understand communication and interaction with humans. Personally, I don't really like this theory, and I'll be completely honest, it's a little outlandish, but it'd be a nice gimmick, and it's something they've sort of done before with both Krieg and Wilhelm, so who's to say that they wouldn't do it again. And finally, number 5, Flak, Axton and Gaige. This is basically just going to be a bunch of different mini theories that may or may not make a bit of sense when you think about it. There's a bit of a meme in the Borderlands community about Flak's real identity being Axton's turret. The reason behind this is because in the Holodome DLC for Borderlands the pre-sequel, Gaige jokes about giving Axton's turret a personality and basically making it sentient. If we take this tiny piece of information and combine it with what we know about Flak, Axton and Gaige, this could actually start to make a whole lot of sense regarding Flak's possible origins. As of right now, we don't actually know where Axton or Gaige are. We have no confirmation that either of them are even alive in Borderlands 3, and this opens up some cool possibilities when it comes to Flak. The reason for this being that Flak's jacket actually has the exact same skull insignia as what Axton wears, as you can see on screen right now. How exactly do we think Flak could have acquired this patch? It is possible that Flak either took the patch from Axton after Axton passed away, or Axton gifted the patch to Flak as a thank you for saving his life or something along those lines. It is also possible that Gaige and Axton developed a sort of a relationship. After all, the Valentine's DLC for Borderlands 2 confirms that Gaige has a crush on Axton, and in the Holodome DLC for Borderlands pre-sequel, we see that the two are very close. Given that Gaige is experienced with technology and can create robots such as Deathtrap, it could be possible that she and Axton had worked on Flak together, and that could explain where the patch originates from. As we can tell from Flak's clothing, they are essentially a robo-hobo, as Reddit likes to call him, and the whole outfit is very much pieced together and created from scraps of material. Is it just a coincidence that Flak could have found the same patch as Axton, or is it simply a reused asset by Gearbox, or is this completely intentional? That concludes this video discussing possible theories about Flak for Borderlands 3. Hopefully these will rack your brains and give you guys something to think about until we see some gameplay and learn a little bit more about Flak at Gamescom in August. Personally, Flak is my favourite of the new Vault Hunters. I just think that Flak has the coolest design and of course the most interesting and mysterious backstory, just like Zero had in Borderlands 2. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Drop your suggestions and possible theories down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you guys think about Flak's origins as well. As always everyone, thank you so much for checking out the video and supporting the channel. Please be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed or found this video interesting. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and interested in seeing all kinds of new Borderlands content such as theories, discussion videos, gameplays and news. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.